Tell me, is this one on the
Yes, it is recording right now. Karibuni sana. We are on, my brother.
We're on. All right.
I am both the producer, recorder,
and everything else. Good evening, viewers.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Professional View.
Oh my God! You remember that, Progi? That's exactly where I got that phrase from. I remember the first time Professional View came on a Tuesday that was supposed to be Reso.
Can you imagine the heartbreak? Yeah. Instead of wrestling, Professional View.
Professional View. And then it looked like a temporary, replacement. Yeah, it was bad. I think we were even with my kuzo, like we were a bunch of kids to look out to Mekusanyika, and my kuzo was on punishment, you guys. So you negotiated this way just to watch Reso. That day, watch them. Then the day comes, that guy.
How much do you think those guys to be paid, those presenters? Maybe like 3K per Professional View?
Oh, no, like you mean the guests or
no,
the presenters?
Hosts.
I'm sure they were paid well.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm sure it was by the prevailing rates at that time. I'm sure they were going home with something like 50K.
But they shouldn't have been paid well considering how boring that stuff was.
No, it was just boring to you guy. It's just a good show, you guy. Back then there was no feedback machine.
Me, why are
they should have been cancelled on season 1. But no, the reason why you didn't like it is because you were a kid, you guy.
No, I was a kid, but I liked other things.
Did you ever listen to it now lately?
I'd like to see it, by the way.
Yeah, it's probably boring.
Do you remember Joy Bringers?
Yeah, I remember the Joy Bringers.
Was it Joy Bringers used to come on Sundays, and then it used to come at around 2:30?
Yes.
So as guys are back from church, food is not even ready.
But then Joy Bringers.
I'm yawning. Check it. So they used to bring Joy Bringers. Joy Bringers starts at that very time. Kina Kasanga, you guys. What was that song by?
No, that was Pius Moiro. I don't even remember.
Watu wengi wamemuasi. So
I think around the time is when I started backsliding. You know what I mean? So Joy Bringers wasn't as fun.
It caused you to backslide.
It was like I'm over this, and then it's around the time it would come. Was it 2:00?
Yeah, 2:30, I think.
2:30. Yeah. But something about I don't remember, but sometimes it used to represent the thing I hated that morning because you had to go to church, right?
Yeah.
Listen to grown-up church. You've done Sunday school. Sunday school was not, but Sunday school was boring to what there. But now you go to grown-up church as well because my parents was very big in church, so I had to be there most of the time. Yeah. And then from time to time you find yourself. For some reason they would find ways to extend church. Like I'm like, why can't we just end at 12:30?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I had some favorite MCs in our church. Even when my mom MC'd, she'd finish on time. But like other people, it's enough. Hey, bro, church man, mpaka too short. Yeah, why are we stretching this?
And it's actually a black thing.
It's a black thing. Yeah, it's a black thing.
Did you see Aretha Franklin's funeral? It took long. I think it took like 6-7 hours, you guys.
Yeah.
Compare that with I think who had died at that time. I don't know if it was George Bush Senior or something.
Important white person.
I think it took 30 minutes, man.
Yeah, man. I don't get what is just go to therapy, bro. Because I feel like as a society we need it.
Maybe guys.
It's therapy for the community.
Maybe guys don't want to go home.
Yeah, but my buddy Moose was telling me a story of someone in his shags, whom they just decided to do the quick, and it was a big quick funeral, and it was a big massive thing. The village.
What was happening? It was a
somebody, funeral.
But
so because they made it very quick. So the next time, like his grandma died, his dad said, "Hey, anybody that wants to say something, they say something."
He let the community. The community were hurt by not being given an opportunity.
Yeah, so they went on for hours.
Mimi nilikuwa namjua.
Alikuwa mtu mzuri sana. Hata kuna wakati mwingine
jamaa alikuwa tu anatembea hapa, hana maneno mengi. Kwa hivyo tunasema pole
kwa
na
familia.
Tutakuwa na familia.
Tutawasaidia. It's like a script. Everyone does the exact same thing you guys. Tutawasaidia. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to call us.
Yeah.
So
it's funny they use the word us, not me.
Not me.
They just put a general person who you won't even trace.
Don't hesitate to call us. We are here. Tunakuwa nani alituchunga sana. Ani mtu wakati nilikuwa naenda shule, I remember it was 1986. I was in I was in form 4.
Yes. Nilikuwa hapa Nairobi.
Your grandfather ndiye aliniita akaniambia
kama si yeye singe pass
exams.
And that is why grateful. Now then you start talking about yourself.
Yeah. That's why now.
I'm younger, you guys. That is now I am working with the Central Bank of Kenya
and
I am now one of the top people in Central Bank. In fact, nilikuwa naambia William Ruto juzi
the other day
that the rates of interest,
the inflation rates,
this conversation has become about you now.
Yeah, these are things we originated, but it's hard to believe that I grew up in such a village. You know, vile mnaona hiyo shule tu nilisomea hapa. Tulisoma hapa na marehemu alikuwa mwalimu wetu, alikuwa headmaster. Na aliniweka line vizuri sana. Hata ninamshukuru sana. Nilienda nikamwambia chapa kiboko na niliamka. You know,
in fact Kenyatta alikuwa anapitanga hapa kwa hii barabara hii yenye
nyakati za Moi
ya Gatundu. So tulikuwa tunasimama hapo tunaimba mawimbo. Hizo siku bado tulikuwa naimba God Save the Queen. So tulikuwa tunasimama tunasema God Save the Queen.
Kwa hivyo tungependa kusema pole sana kwa niaba yangu na familia yangu.
Yes, na msikue na any hesitation in regards to calling us
if you need anything at all. Tumeshukuru sana. Hata my brother, I'm telling him,
they tell you to simama.
Yeah, simama.
Simon kina nani came to my dad's funeral. Weta Mudavadi who else was part of the dream team?
They gave you that do not hesitate.
Yeah, they came with all those stories. What? Then they just didn't get politics shameless.
Yeah, politicians at least.
Cheka maneno ya kupika kura, nataka tuangalie mimi kama Weta. I'll be number 2 in command.
Did he already know what he was going to be running for?
I think so. Okay,
hata kwa ameingia alliance yote.
I don't think alikuwa ameingia the winning team.
The winning team.
But that was a dope move by those guys.
Yeah, bana. Hey, Weta was so happy. You could tell the joy.
He's
made it back.
That guy has been in the cold for long.
He's been dragged and this is, I'm sure Weta, the way they bet. Ile bet yenye walieka walisema what is your gut telling you? Do the opposite. Because every time you follow your gut, unaangusha huko na Rao, you are looking at Rao and Rao is like, no, me nakula bro.
I'm over here with Uhuru. You're calling Uhuru. This guy and he's with Uhuru, you guy. Cheki kwapi? Cheki niko State House kiasi. Wacha niko call back sawa. Ni wanze new guy. The guy is munching pocho you guys in State House.
For Weta, it looked like a coming of age thing, you guys. Like, you know what?
But what does this guy do though? Who? This Mudavadi guy. He looks like he's not doing
jack, you guy. Minister. He's doing a lot more, you guy.
What does that role have?
No, it's actually got most of the work that is delegated to him from Nani.
From Gashagwa,
yes, I
so
think.
So he's given like they split jobs.
I'm sure, because come on.
But I'm not feeling any of his impact. Am I because you're not saying anything crazy?
Yeah, exactly. He's the one who's saying, guys, let's go to work to watch a pongo. Regard is out there saying.
But it's funny in Kenya when you're not saying anything crazy, you sound like you're
not
jack.
working. Yeah.
He should chomoka and tukana guys
something,
up on
just, he should throw in a railway. Yeah, bana. Just one insult every 6 months. Yeah. Just throw someone under the bus.
Yeah, with his nose. Check, nataka kuambia nyinyi wote hapa kwa hii parking nyinyi ni wajinga. Then he goes back to the office.
Yeah, bana. He should actually to trend up and tunasikia yenyewe jamaa anafanya kazi. Tunamsikia.
Maybe his style is more like Bucks. Bucks was quiet.
Yeah. He's apparently he was good. I don't know. He was really good at his thing. They keep talking about him and economy and stuff. Muda.
Oh yeah. He was. That guy wasn't in some scandals, you guys.
No, he was in scandals, but he did it effectively.
They did Pepeta some mad gold.
He did the scandal effectively.
Check the gold.
So that's exactly how you do it.
Yeah.
That's how you know this person is good at what he does.
Check
he just doesn't apply himself.
See,
it's all these people, bana, who they are in government, you're like, are you people, how can you not do the job you're paid to do? And then when they do their private things, they do it so well, you're like... So it's not lack of skill. What the hell?
Yeah. Because their private things are working.
Yeah, like they secure that gold and they do it properly. We don't know what happened. You know, like he was never even convicted. I mentioned him a few times. He's a finance minister back then.
Yeah. But what happened to Kamlesh, you guys?
Kamlesh, unajua
the last I heard he was a pastor.
Mambo ya injili unajua.
Now he's traversing the world, you guys.
Mungu akikuambia enda Kongo. Unaenda Kongo.
Maybe it's in the middle of Congo preaching the gospel, bruh.
That guy, I think he just went under. I don't know. He just decided to go under.
But he went under. You guys.
I do actually feel like he had a job to do. He was a fall guy.
Yeah. He was the front
for the scandal. I don't know. That's what I feel. Because after that, he just kind of disappeared. He didn't even get like the consequences of whatever they say he did. So it's like maybe this guy was doing a job. The main beneficiaries are quiet, you guys.
Maybe he's swimming up in a pool up in the middle of the Congo. Maybe he bought Nani's shamba.
Who's shamba?
Mobutu says.
Have you seen the how you
check you guy in the middle of the jungle?
The how is full of bats. The Mobutu
right now, Maybe he's renovating it. Maybe he's doing a YouTube channel.
I'd love to do that, man.
Checking, my name is Kamlesh. I'm renovating.
Dude, I would love to go check out that house and just be like, in the vanity.
Nani didn't shoot his video there at the airport. At least this guy called Banner Boy.
At the airport.
You remember he had a private airport, Mobutu. He had a private airport next to that place. Was called Badolite. Yeah. So.
Is it a heritage site right now? It is just open.
It's rundown.
It's a rundown
joint, you guys.
I'd love to go there and shoot something and act like it's not rundown. Just walk in and act like this is not the most rundown thing.
You guy, Banner Boy beat you to that, you guy. But I don't know, man. But that guy, I don't know if dictators love living alone, you guy. Yeah?
Did he love living alone?
Yes, most of the time he was just alone.
Paranoia, bro.
Especially in the older. I tell you what happened to that guy.
Yeah.
His buddy got shot in is it Czechoslovakia?
See,
what was his name? Chescu or something? You remember that guy?
I don't know.
He was a dictator in Europe. But I've forgotten his name. Something Chescu or something. Yeah. Right. So he got shot.
Yeah.
By the
bodyguard,
people.
Yeah. Of people.
There was an uprising. Then he got shot. So this guy, for the first time, thought to himself, "Hey, this thing can also happen to me." So he tried to relax on the, on being the face and went to chill. Most of the time, he'd just chill. He was like the chairman now of the country, of the party.
So how did he die? So he got shot by his bodyguard. That was this.
He shot. That guy didn't die in his old age.
Oh, that's Kabila.
So that guy moved to Morocco or something.
No.
He died in Morocco of cancer.
No, the one that got shot was Kabila. The dad to the more recent Kabila. He got shot by his bodyguard.
I wonder how that happened also, you guys. Yeah?
It's the same thing. But those guys are paranoid, you guys. Some of the things you do...
It's like Nani right now.
Yeah.
It's like I hope I'm not going to Russia soon. I love to edit this episode. Like Putin, when you go see Putin,
don't ruin my Russia trip.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah.
So but when you go see Putin, you see Tuko.
Yeah, that's.
But that one is because of COVID.
COVID.
So you see now by us guys in Mada. So you see Tuko in Strath. Check you guy with a binoculars. Check yes. So you guys, you have to really harakisha because you see kuna watu wengi wako kuona hapo kwa hiyo meza. Those other guys are also waiting up in now Mbagathi way.
Yeah, Mbagathi.
You guys remember in high school guys used to exaggerate. Like guys would just take a normal story. Like there was this guy who was telling me when we were in high school. This guy was telling us the way he used to sleep with chicks. So he used to tell us like you say all of us were virgins. So it's like sasa nikamshika yuza kosteri. So nilikuwa namshika hivi ananikumbatia jamaa 30 minutes jamaa. Check yes guys. 30 minutes.
Well, but then you don't even know. You think that's normal.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was true.
You think it goes for hours. This is a thing you do. Me, I used to think people do it all night. Like you just plug in and just
even me used to wonder why. Me used to think you just engage and just leave it there.
That's what
and
I
then
used to
there's something inside there doing things.
Like a wash, like a car wash.
I think I realized you have to do something at the age of maybe 32, you guys. Check, you have to pump. I didn't know.
Check it bringing up and all the chicks at 25. She's like, he doesn't know.
You guys, there are many chicks out there who are calling their pals talking about me. Check it, so now he just used to put it in and then he just stays like that. I need to call them. I didn't know. So
did you hear that story of Moi? Apparently he's Rungu. It was a rumor, one of those wild rumors. Like his room stays on that table, and only he can pick it up. It's like if you try and pick it up, like he's like people would be like he's tried, like he told Biot pick it up and Biot couldn't pick it up. People talk about how he put a test for everyone and no one could pick it up. Yeah, even used to hear stories of Dedan Kimathi. Dedan Kimathi was the best thief. Something about him swimming through the sewer line out of state into State House, and Kenyatta was like and rewarded him with something.
You guys had mad imagination, you guys. The one that I remember is when guys were saying Moi is dead.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time? I was in primary school. There was a rumor. You know, Kitambo, you couldn't talk about Moi openly.
Oh yeah.
So I remember even where I was in the loo. So there was a rumor out there that Moi has died. So I was in the loo with another guy. So he's telling me, hey, your story. Then he looks around, and we're in primary, you guys, I'm wondering where the DCI in a primary school.
CIDs.
Check it, so Moi, I'm a daddy. Check me, I'm a daddy. So Moi had to walk around in town to prove he's not dead. He had to walk up to Sharia house, walked up
show himself.
Yeah. Then he chomoda. Cheki watu wanasema kwamba nimekufa. Unajua, let me tell you.
And then proceeded to live till 105. Just to show them.
I don't know if you outlived my pal, because I haven't talked to my pal in a long time. I don't know if he's still around, you guys. Maybe Moi found him there. Cheki yani saidi una dedi. Mimi nilikuwa nafikira usha dedi hiyo time nika primo.
Boy, was something else, man.
But those conspiracy stories were always interesting.
Now then you think about it, but they was scary back then. You hear the story and like,
yeah, you had to whisper, you had to keep it hush hush, man. So you guys, by the way, you don't have even intro you, tumeanza tu kuongea. Huh?
Yeah. You should intro me.
But that's how it happened with George, you guys. We just started talking, man. So this is Dag Mutai.
One of those movies, yeah.
Dag Mutai ni boy wangu from back in the day. If you're watching from Russia, you know the Russians now have to watch now that we've mentioned you guys. They were in Russia. So Dag Mutai, comedian, entrepreneur, all rounder.
Tu kujaribu ni kugeria man. No kugeria man.
Chicken jaribu
tu hizi vitu.
Chicken
no, I have not tried. It's nothing special really. It's
no, how I got this shamba was kuna boy wangu aliniambia kwa sako that hizi shamba ziko available. So imagine your time ilikuwa 300 peke yake. So nikatreana loan ya sako
nikajikaza.
Yeah. Nikachukua sasa ndio nimekuja kufungua nyumba. Thank you. That's the humility pose in Kenya, you guys.
Yeah, nashukuru sana.
So you guys, man, do you miss Dag used to be in Canada back in the day. Do you miss living in North America?
It's
especially
a bag,
right now there's this guy called Trudeau. He's not really loved by some people, loved by others.
Yeah, I'm not even about politics. It was honestly, maybe it got polarized after I left. I left just as Trudeau was getting in. So that's been a while.
When Trudeau's been in for how long?
2014, I think, 2015.
Yeah. I remember guys were saying he's handsome, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he went viral around that time. So I remember that's the first time I came back. That was a long time ago, man. It's hard to say that I miss it yet. It's been like, itakuwa tragedy if it's like, mimi na missing sana hizo vitu. But to be fair, I really enjoy being in Kenya.
Oh, you
so
do,
much fun. So much.
Most guys don't really enjoy being here. Went, then came back.
Yeah, it's so much better.
Maybe we don't appreciate because we're always here.
Yeah. That's what I think.
There's this bro of mine, shout out to him, I don't know if he's watching. So my bro used to live in Japan. Okay, that was in 90. He went to Japan maybe 1990, according to my memory. Came back a couple of, maybe 92. Stayed there for a while.
Yeah.
But now
90 to 92, that's not a while, you guys. It's 2 years.
Okay, I think I'm editing according to my memory. But it's a while. 2 years is a long time outside Kenya, you guys. But that's a topic for another day. Yeah. But so this guy, fast forward maybe about 2018, 2017, you're hanging out with him in a bar. Then when he gets high, he starts talking about Japan, you guys. Checky, you guys.
I remember
when I was in Japan, checky me. Only go Japan mwaka gani wewe ba. Is it the same Japan?
God damn.
You guy, I hope he's not watching this podcast. He really called me. Check you guy, you're discussing me on those shows of yours, guy. No, but that's funny, you guys. When you get high, you get back to when I was in Japan.
You know, in Japan, they don't do these things of...
But you know, sometimes these guys who've lived abroad, they try to pull that thing for when I was in, as a one-up on our Rocco guys, you guys.
You feel like it's a one-up?
No, sometimes. Okay, maybe maybe it's subliminal.
Actually,
maybe
right.
they are not planning.
You are right. It's also part of their identity. Yeah, I'm sure I found myself throwing in Canada a few times.
Yeah, because I have this neighbor who's he used to live in the States. I don't know what happened, but now he's back in Quito. He's doing this water business now. Only when he talks is when you know he wasn't around. So he keeps mentioning it's me when I was in South Carolina. He keeps you know the inefficiencies in Kenya. So all the time he's referring to how Kenya is inefficient. You know, I ordered for someone to repair my borehole, and this guy just calls me and says it's not available, and it's been 3 days. So I'm like, this is really grinding on me, because when I was in South Carolina, okay, you guy, man, you're no longer in South Carolina, man. Does it just accept now you're back here and
these are things they work here?
Yeah,
I think it takes a while. Sometimes it takes different times, but you need to be aware too, right? Like I remember for me, the first year for sure, it was everything going nuts. I'm like, this is nonsense, you guys. You know, it's not supposed to be like this. Customer service, you're slow over there. These are things, by the way, you even complain about when you're in Canada. No. But somehow, it's worse.
Oh, it's the same complaints, but here
but you find it to be like it's just a human thing to complain, is what I'm saying. Like, cause like you're sitting there, and the cashier is doing the thing, and you're like, man, I can't stand the fact that cashiers are sitting down.
Oh, all right.
And they're slow. I'm like, this is just. It's bad body language, you know.
Just stand up in North Carolina.
Yeah, bro. If you ever worked on the counter, you're standing the entire time.
The whole day.
Pretty much. But then you're not doing 12, 14 hours. Like you're doing like 8-hour shifts or something.
Hey, but standing for 8 hours is also not a joke. It's more efficient when you're standing.
You stand, you go for breaks. Because somehow it makes you look like. I don't even think it makes you quicker. If you're a quick person, you're quick. If you're slow, you're slow. But I think the body language communicates. It's like, I'm ready to work.
So it was totally weird when you see someone
seated. Bro, it used to be so weird, even though I used to see it before I left. And then I come back, it's become so weird, and then I just attribute that to everything.
But even like in supermarkets in the States, you pack your own stuff, right? Is it the same in Canada?
Yeah, more or less, yeah. There's even the self-checkouts. Guy. The self-checkouts, right?
Even in the petrol station.
You fuel. You
fuel your own
fuel more often than not.
This chick was my neighbor. She used to call me neighbor. She was from I don't know if she was from South Carolina. So she went back and she was saying one of the things she misses about Kenya is now she has to pump her own fuel.
Yeah, I see.
But you can't have it. You can't have it all.
You can't have it all. Me, I think that the what is it called, the trade-off is just it does the job. It takes care of it. Because I'm like, to be honest, there are some things I miss, like customer service sometimes can be annoying here, but it's, look at me saying here.
Here at home.
Here at home. It's not like when I was back in Canada, customer service was really.
Because I used to live in Montreal.
It's in Montreal. And I remember this one time I was in.
It's Montreal, not Montreal.
It's different. It's Montreal. Different people pronounce it differently. Montreal. Even French people pronounce it differently. I forget the pronunciation. Montreal.
All right.
Montreal.
Montreal is
Montreal.
Quebec is the French side of
Canada, more or less. And Montreal is in Quebec.
Oh, it's in Quebec.
Yes.
So that's still French.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Montreal is in Quebec, Kabisa, but it's very cosmopolitan somehow.
Here, if they could just fix the
drainage,
drainage,
the road, walk,
like in Tower,
customer service, the sky, the topography,
the people,
if they could just get the landscaping. Yeah, dude, like, but I just think it's the trade-offs are just it takes care of it, so you just have to adjust really quick. It takes you a while,
But it's hard to adjust
but it's
to
like half the time
some
you're complaining about customer service, you're also paying like peanuts, bro. You're like,
oh, here, right?
yeah, so it's like, you know what, the trade-off hapo hata wewe usijifanyie.
But you guy, yeah,
umelipa lunch ya 250 unazusha nini?
yeah, you need $2.
Yeah, see, so that chick comes with an attitude because she gets paid 10K.
Yeah,
you gotta be fair.
Yeah, true, by the way. But me, I wouldn't feel very happy walking up Mudurwa, you guys.
Mudurwa.
Like when all the time I pass there, it just depresses me, you guys.
You know what I can handle? Every single time, regardless. Even if it's Mudurwa, even if it's Kaongware. As long as the sun is not shining. Like if it's raining, if it's gloomy, I can handle it. I love everything. But when it's hot, I'm lethargic.
Oh, you prefer the cold?
I prefer
cold
weather. The cold weather. That it just like the lethargy is what I can't handle. Like you're there, you're sweating, it's gross, everything. Yeah,
so for you, you know, when you came back, like it wasn't a lot of a big culture shock. It was just you just glided back into the system.
No, I wouldn't. So it's so weird to call it a culture shock, yet you're aware of it. You've lived it before. It was your culture before.
Yeah.
Because even when I moved to Canada, I'll be honest, there wasn't much of a culture shock. You know why? Because we are aware of their culture, the North American culture. It takes a while. There's adjustments to do, but I wouldn't call it a culture shock. You know, I feel like going to Japan would be a culture shock because they do things completely different. Like we don't even, and not only are they completely different, we are not aware of their culture. Like it's not in our face constantly like the North American culture. So for me, it wasn't a culture shock, but it was an adjustment. Yeah, because it's just. Yeah, but I don't even like saying I was in whatever, you know, anymore. It's time has passed. But yeah, when I came back, I was annoyed for a while. For a year, I was complaining about everything. This is really ridiculous. And my friends are like,
they're like, oh, this guy.
It's like, why didn't you call? Man, you're supposed to show up on time, man, or at least call me and tell me that you're gonna be late.
So you guys, did you enjoy any white mummies who in Canada, you guys?
Johnny Mokoka. Bro Mokoka.
No, see, tunaongea about the past, you guys. Yeah? You didn't dabble in exotic land, you guys. Check this guy in exotic land. Check it.
You know, there was I had a brief with someone. I don't know if it was. I just do remember somebody admonishing. Or it was a chick friend who was from Kenya saying, why do you date white people and white chicks and you're here? And I'm like, that's what's on the menu, you know what I mean? Like you're just, I'm not saying no to black chicks. It's just that I see one every couple of weeks, months.
True.
And then
it's
you're
like my mother was telling me, why don't us guys marry lunge chicks? Because most of us are not married to a lunge chick. I'm like, where are they, man?
Where are they? Like
I hardly meet them.
Most
of them I meet either ni Mmeru ama Msapere, you guys.
I get with chicks everywhere, right? Like it's not like I'm against any specific, you know, but if I'm there, like here now, it would be a bit of a question if I was like, I came and then I met a chick here and it turns out that it's, of course, it happens still, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not what you would expect, right? Like if I'm out there and people are like, oh, so hey, you're dating a white chick, is there a lot of white chicks in Kenya? I'd be like, oh, I know, but we met elsewhere, you know. But if it's a chick you met in Kenya, it's different. You know,
but most of my pals who moved abroad to the States especially, when they got there, they got married to white chicks. I don't know if it was for the papers or for love, but majority, they kusana to those chicks and now are hooked up with a Kenyan, maybe a South African, but sana Kenyan.
I think it's a culture.
I think that's now. Yeah, it's a
there's a big culture difference. Yeah, when it becomes long term, you start having those pull and pushes a lot, which was natural. It was to be expected. So this expects you to do this. You don't do that. You know, things like that. You don't know how to do that, or you're not used to. It's out of work for you. So it's like, but it's not the abnormal thing. If you're dating the people that are around you, that's basically what I'm saying, right? It's not the abnormal thing. But it's nothing wrong.
But I wonder what those culture differences are. like that strain, those interracial relationships, maybe timekeeping, maybe habits. Like there's a buddy of mine who was telling me the way he used to date a white chick over here in Kilimani. So she'd say, "Sujui, switch off your phone, we talk." So him is like, my phone is my office. So I can't switch off my phone. My phone has to be on, otherwise it'll affect me financially. Chicken, no, Aaron. Okay, I'll say this name. I'll have to edit. You gotta switch off your phone. You gotta switch it off so we have time.
Try and hide the name. I want to say his name. I'll have a different Berico.
So it's interesting. I think those two small things that you're saying even in Kenya when you're married to someone who's not your tribe. It's a huge strain.
I'll give you another very good example. Right, those micro things. So, like, you're familiar with microaggressions, right? Which I am now familiar with after living there. They are not harmful things, right? The way I see, like, if a white person gives you a banana, it's not an offensive thing. A white person gives you a banana, there is a subtle context to it, right? That you need to be aware of for it to offend you, sort of a thing, right? At that point, I don't know if that's the best example, but like so. For starters, when I was living there in a very white area, white neighborhood and stuff, towns, small towns sometimes, small city, not town, you get that people saying, like, somebody would say something like, I'm sorry about that, man, did you see? And I'd be like, what was that? Because he was talking to me. To me, it's not... I wasn't aware of that context. The contextual, like, I grew up here, so the contextual meaning of that action is aggressive in itself. It's an aggression, but to you, it's not.
Which are saying sorry? What are you talking about?
It's just okay. Let's give a polar example that would make it take home. Are you familiar with blackface, for example?
Yes. Yeah.
Are you offended when you see a non-black person with a black painted their face black? It's just part of whatever they're doing, right? It's the same way you would paint your face white. It's the same thing because there's no context to it, right? But now, I remember the first gig I did, not the first gig, one of the many gigs I was doing on the road in these small towns. I go to a small town and I got a Halloween gig. It was almost a corporate gig. So paying a lot of money, you're going to a small town. I think it was like 3 hours from Calgary or something. And I was opening for a guy called Derek Sweet. A very funny guy who back then he never quit his job. He used to be a tech guy, but he was still a comedian, he was doing all this, and he was really good. And he's one of the guys who, they carried me the first when I started doing comedy. So I was with him. I don't remember who else, but I remember I was opening for him. So we go to this gig. It's a Halloween gig, and we do the show, and then later I go to the bathroom, and so Halloween, everybody's dressed up. Everybody's dressed up as a different character, as a witch, whatever it is. And I ran into this guy in the bathroom. He's dressed up in, he's Flavor Flav for Halloween. He's being Flavor Flav, and he went all the way. He's even painted his face.
Oh, he had blackface.
He had blackface. So I chat him up. I'm in the bathroom. I'm like, what the hell is this? It's like Flavor Flav. I was like, nice. Like I'm like, and then we chat for a few minutes, and then Derek comes into the washroom as saying, they tell the guy, yeah, bye, man. Nice to meet you. I hope you enjoyed the show. Yeah, I enjoyed the show. I leave. And then I go back to the green room. We finished the show. We're getting ready to drive back. I think it wasn't that far, actually. So we were driving back to Calgary in the winter, in the snow. And Derek comes to me, man, like he's just pissed. He's red. He's like, bro, I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. I am so sorry you had to do that.
He's apologizing to you.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? It's like that guy, I'm like, the blackface guy. Oh yeah, he was a really nice guy. I chatted with him. Did he do something that after I left? He's like, no. Like, what are you? What he's doing? Are you cool? I'm like, what do you mean? It's like the blackface. I'm like, so he has blackface. He did. He's being Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
I'm now getting into it's Flavor Flav. Like you don't get it. He's being Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
And Derek is like, yeah, that's offensive. I'm like, that's offensive. So
he's educating you.
I'm educated. Like I should be offended now. And I'm like, oh shit. I guess I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah,
it was a bad thing. Now I'm going and I'm finding out about blackface, the history of it. I'm like, yeah, it's a bit fucked up. But then I don't know if this guy knows either. Like he's from a really small town. Like I don't even remember the name of the town. Man. Like it's so small. I don't know if that guy knows that it's the bad. Like it could be just an ignorance. Ignorant, yes, very ignorant because he's not aware of the context. So was I. Like, cause I don't know what the context is. I wasn't aware. So there was a lot of that. So there's people telling you like, do you experience racism? And I was like, I mean, it's not a lot. And then it's another black person who grew up in Canada saying, dude, I experience racism everywhere, every day. All these microaggressions that I'm not familiar with because the context does not exist with me. So that's one of the things that I learned. So that also translates to now culture, relationship. Whatever you do means something to someone that it means nothing to you. It's just a thing. Do you know that joke that I used to do about getting fat?
Which one?
So there's a bit I used to do. It's about how when I dated a white chick and I had to set it up like, you know, back home getting fat is just a thing.
I remember
back then, right? At least now people are we are all over it, getting fluidly, we are getting American, all that. But back then it's just like a thing. It's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing, it's just a thing that happened to you. Sometimes it's even a good thing because maybe you went for work.
Life,
you're progressing, you're doing well. Look at you, you've gotten fat. Your wife, Melisha, she's getting fat. Nice. Right. It was a good thing. But for Huko, it's an offensive thing to call someone something fat, right? And it's not even a joke. It was a conversation. It's the truth. Happened. A chick I was dating, white chick, something we were discussing, like it's exactly how I did in the bit, and then she just says, "Oh, I'm just getting fat," out of nowhere, right? I'm just getting fat, and I was like, I guess so. Like I didn't. I'm just noticing. Yeah, I guess.
Oh, you
true.
Agreed.
Yeah, you're getting a bit chubby, whatever. Like I just said it and walked around, carried on with my life. Bro, I'm sure it was a discussion in family gatherings for a while.
Yeah, like you said.
Like, when I realized because later now I find out why she's going to be like, she called me fat. And what?
But I just repeated what you said.
So I'm not allowed to say, but you can. Okay, so are you fat? So you're not. What are you? Like, what the hell? Like, would you feel? Is it how you feel? Is it how you not? So it's a whole thing, man. And for me,
but now it seems to be getting worse, right?
Yeah,
like guys are getting upset. Even sometimes with comedians, you can introduce a comedian. You say, "All right, the next comedian who's coming on stage is a lady." Like, hey, why are you calling me a lady, man? I'm like, you can say I am a person.
Just say of the female variety.
How about you just say I am the next comedian? Don't start, genderizing. My book for things that you not do is getting full fast.
You know what you could do to equalize it? Every comedian introduced with their gender.
Yeah, true.
This next comedian coming up is a man,
and not deep.
And it's not deep.
He's a man of the male agenda. I've never seen those guys for that clip for you are gay.
Why are you
doing that? It's transgender. You are a transgender. So you're right. There's a time I was on radio. Back to your story of microaggression. I think I was talking about ignorance. There's this. Actually, it's Bien's wife.
Yeah,
Chiki. So Chiki was in radio. She was in. Yeah, shout out to you, Chiki. So Chiki was in Vibes Radio, which was reggae.
Yeah.
So she came to our show, Spice FM. We were just hanging out.
Yeah.
So we were on air talking, and then towards the end, I say, all right, Chiki, it was nice having you here. Bomboclat. So she's like, you know what that means, do you? I'm like, does it mean something?
It's a vibe to me.
She's like, it's the F word. I'm like, it's the F word. Like, Bomboclat means the F word. Check him in.
I like the fact that you use it. Because to you, it just represents a vibe.
Yeah.
It's like we had
Bomboclat.
But it's fun because you keep hearing it in these songs, these Jamaican songs.
So, like, all my life, if I didn't meet Chiki, I would have just been saying Bomboclat after anything. Even a nice funeral. Check it, Bomboclat.
Guy. If you need anything, call us. Don't hesitate to call us. Bomboclat.
So it's funny, unless you're educated, you'll just live in that ignorance for life, I guess.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of, I think it's a software update half the time, because just
there are new things
it's a general,
every year.
there's new things every year. It's general awareness of all the things, right? Because now, because also you can't finish it, you can't exhaust knowledge and learn it, and also these are things, that experiences, they're just representative of those experiences. Maybe if we didn't have the oppressions that we deal with, we didn't have problems, we were living at an equilibrium world, then it wouldn't mean anything. I
think those things are reset by, let's say, a war. I think when there's a war, people now go back to the basics of life.
Basic, the instinct of survival again. I actually agree with that 100%. I think as a society now we're actualizing. It's actualization. So it's these things that
you can worry about what this guy has called me right now. Because you see, in the past, nice
you couldn't, because as long as you're alive, bro.
There's a wolf out there which wants to eat your kids. So
because I'm sure wild animals are not talking about context. Like, I really feel like he hurt my feelings when I was running, but now feelings are the only things. Like, I feel like there has to be, like, we've eliminated all the other problems. Now we look for new problems to solve.
There has to be. Have you ever watched The Matrix?
Yeah, I think I remember.
I watched The Matrix 58,000 times.
Okay.
So there's a part where this Agent Smith says that they created a perfect world, a utopia, where everything was perfect. So he says the human beings could not survive in that world. They need a problem. They need a challenge. They need something happening. You're driving your car, you get a flat tire. You're eating, you get a bad stomach. Like that makes
the need
life
to travel somewhere.
Yes.
Is a need.
But now the perfection of everything is working.
You don't need
you feel like taking a piss. The loo appears over here. Like, this is boring. That's why some guys think about heaven and think it's boring. At least the guys who believe in heaven, they're like, tutaboeka, tutakuwa tunaimba.
Nye itabo. After it's like, majamaa today, twende camping huko kwa river.
I'm a hunting
guy.
But then you're an outdoors man, eh? You're one of those guys who can live in the bush.
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, I can do a lot of that.
You're a handyman. This guy is one of the guys I know who can build a house.
A lot of things. Yeah, I've built at least 2 houses now. Man. 2 cabins.
With your hands?
Yeah, the ones that I built in Bomet and Lungron, I did that. Yeah.
You guys, my hands are soft, you guys. I think the only thing I've done is brush my shoes.
For lack of a better term, like there was a time my buddy was calling me, "Oh, you're married. Like, why do you feel the need to make everything? Like, you know how after high school, we were trying to buy, I think we went to some shop and we wanted to buy cufflinks. It was expensive. I'm sure it's not expensive, but to me it was like, I can make that. Like I made cufflinks out of, like, I curved it.
Oh, you created
it. Yeah, and my buddy was like, why? What the hell? I just mixed.
But you don't think the current generation of men, especially urban men, are soft? Like soft me in now. That sense. Like we are, like, look, if say there was a, God forbid, an attack on our country by a foreign force. First of all, me, I'm unfit, and then my hands are very soft. So even building bridges, you know.
Tuamaliza na hashtag these guys.
Like compare with
Give them.
You remember the Vikings?
Yeah.
Like those guys were hard men. But I feel like the urbanite right now is a very soft guy.
Of course, but it is, I wouldn't call it soft.
Nini, tweezing, massage for 3 hours after a haircut.
Oh yes, physically yes, but I wouldn't call it soft. I feel like, it's just, there's no need for that skill. There's no real need for that skill. We have infrastructure, we have the specialization, you can specialize in what you do, and then you call it soft by the context of that, because you need to be a man. But in my opinion, I just think there's no need for the skill for you. So why do you do it?
But they should be like men. You remember the guys to be sent to NYS, then they come out a bit hard, like that hardness is good. Although this guy was so hard, his back was straight, like he was a teacher. I'm like, hey, this is another level of hardness. Paka wanakukausha mgongo. But anyway, my point is, I feel like we need you know the way some countries guys go for 1 year
character
in the military,
building, more or less. But do you think it affects character that you haven't done the building of things? I feel like there's a certain level of what do you call it? Maybe even if you're doing something pointless, it leads to a certain point of it adds no value is what I'm saying.
Can you imagine getting into a fight with a guy from Mocha, a guy from Londeti hapo katikati?
Getting into a fight,
like a physical brawl.
Exactly, but why do you need to get into a fight?
Maybe he's goes at your chick's ass, you guy.
Okay, so now you have to you see what I mean?
Wewe umeguza rasani mwangu, but since tunatoka Londeti huko katikati,
you need to be a bit rough on the edges.
Yeah, I think so, you guys.
I think to understand, but I
think we are overly soft.
You need to be able to do, like you say, I do stuff, but I haven't done stuff in a while. Like all I do is write jokes and do stuff, and I feel like I know how to do it though, but I don't need to be doing it every day, you know. So there's that. Yeah, maybe it's nice to know the skill.
My pal was telling me that his nephew can't even climb a tree, you guys. You know, the last guys used to run around with kanyaga thorns.
Yeah.
Like, step to the thorn.
Yeah.
Like this kid could not climb a tree.
We're living in easy times, bro.
So this guy, what's up with this guy? So I was like, why don't you be taking him? You take him to League Ndogo. You know, he just hangs out
plays football and gets bleeds out.
Yeah, it's nice to bleed a little, you know, as you're growing up. You have scars on your knees.
It's so weird because I get the fun of it. Like now, there's the fun of it. Just doing that stuff can be really fun. But the intrinsic, so that is the value. Maybe it gives you a better grounding mentally stuff. But there's also a group of people who did it as a matter of need. If they don't do this, they'll not survive. They'll not survive. And I feel like there's a trauma that comes with that. Because true. Now it's a do or die situation. And it turns out you didn't climb a tree and now you're traumatized. You have to go to therapy. But I do feel like I get the fact that I feel like people need to learn to do them. That's why even now, even the advanced like so-called advanced communities, societies, they do this stuff for fun, like they go camping, living in the wilderness, and
to
it's
reconnect with that primal human instinct, I think.
But I don't think they do.
You don't think they reconnect?
I don't think they do, man.
No, I think they do.
I feel like the primal instinct is always...
You have limited water, you have limited food.
Oh, yeah, no, there's that.
Maybe you have to hunt.
Okay, you're talking... Now, there's those guys who actually... Is it called naturists? Whatever it is, they go into nature and they live, they survive it in nature as is. But then there's another group of people who go camping with all these trappings of modernity.
Yeah.
Like it's a motorhome, you just drive it into the bush.
Yeah, that's cheating.
Running water in your camper van or whatever motorhome, like you have in your that one also doesn't make sense. I mean, to be fair, even you go camping and you have a tent, that's still quite soft to me.
No, but you need shelter.
You go build a freaking hut.
But you might die before you're done with your hut, you guys.
And that's the whole point.
That's how
that is where the trauma comes in, because those guys had to do it or die. Right?
Do you watch those YouTube channels where these guys go alone to an island? Have you ever seen those?
Which are no. Because the ones that was Naked and Afraid, maybe.
Okay,
those ones that used to be on these reality shows. I haven't watched a lot of
this is just a YouTuber guy.
Yeah.
So he says he's going to an abandoned island. So he just goes and chills there and spear hunting, fish, and living off the land. No. But then again, it's YouTube, so you never know.
Yeah, man. Like
you never know what's happening.
After those guys, the Asian guys who used to build CG underground or swimming pools. Yes, dude. Let me tell you.
And the thing is to have 50 million views.
Let me tell you, those videos started happening while I was in Shag's building in that cabin.
So you were inspired.
I knew the amount of time it took to do certain things.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm seeing these guys are churning out videos left, right, and center. Like, I'm like, I would be beat after a week
you could
of
tell.
doing this.
You could tell that it's fake.
I was.
Okay, you had an instinct.
I had an instinct. I had questions, and I didn't watch it till then. Later, it's trending that these guys have been playing games.
So they've been using machines also.
Yeah, I think they utilize machines. There's a guy behind it all. Gets these guys to do it. Now that being said, there are guys who do this for a living, like the physical work, and they can do a lot. Like I know a guy who. His hand was rough. This guy could lay bricks like crazy.
Hisalamia you feel like
you feel like
Cheki mbona unanikanyaga? Cheki hapa na kusalamia.
His rate of work per day is insane. Like he works, but he's been doing this for a long time. This guy was like 49 or 50 or something. So it's like he's been doing this forever. So he's perfected that skill and he does it very fast and he's physically strong. So those guys, I used to see it and I used to be like, he doesn't. This back to back and this rate. And then I would see it and I compare with this guy who could mow down work and I'm like,
But their views were sick. Eh?
Yeah, they were.
They used to have very.
They had a lot of views, man.
So, let's talk about comedy, man. What do you think the state, now that we're in January, you guys?
Yeah.
What do you think the state of the comedy is in the 254 right now?
I think it's good. I think there's a few adjustments coming up that have been happening. Mm-hmm. Guys to adjust and recalibrate, get their own bearings, get their own direction. But I think we're at a good place with.
How long has it been since that meeting we had at Al Yusra?
5 years. 5 years. Was it 2017? Around June.
Yeah. Well, I met this guy at Al Yusra. That was the time you were still in Bomet, right?
Yeah. We talked for almost 4 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was the first time we met, right?
No, we had met before.
No. It was the first time we hung out. We'd met at Churchill Show just randomly.
No, and then we met a few times again before that, like
where?
Briefly. Still Nairobi.
Z, you guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, but we used to talk.
No, I used to send you DMs and you lenga, you guy.
No, that's bullshit. I've asked you to pull it up and you haven't.
I sent you a DM and you didn't
show me
because I remember it very clearly.
Show me, because I never delete my messages. Even if I delete my messages, you show me the ones that you delete. I think you sent it to the wrong guy. I swear to God. Because when did you send me that DM? Because this has been a point of contention for a lot of years, man. Tell me.
I think you were still in Canada.
What year?
You'd come for the show, then you went back. I remember that time.
Yeah, 2013, 2014.
Yeah, I don't even remember what I was telling you.
Because I came in 2014 and then I left and I came back.
Yeah, it was that time.
But you told me that you've called me out for that thing, and I went and looked at my DMs and I see nothing.
Maybe I'll go and source that.
Maybe you could send. Hit send.
Maybe it's in
drafts. Or look at another Doug.
Which Doug, you guy? I don't know any other Doug, you guy.
What username did you send it?
See, Doug Mutai, you guy.
My username was not Doug Mutai.
Oh, it wasn't. What was it?
It was a Dougie.
So you changed your. So maybe I sent you the old one. Maybe.
No, because I have both accounts. And I flipped them.
All right,
I just flipped the usernames, by the way. I kept, because remember Dougie was such a cool name and it was so hard for anyone else to get it.
Yeah, there was Dougie Fresh. Remember Dougie Fresh?
So I still have access to that account.
Yeah, so that was 5 years ago. But I think comedy has come in leaps and bounds.
Yeah, we've done a lot of, isn't it weird? Like, can you imagine the stuff that we thought were like, they were just ideas. The amount of time, right? The amount of time and effort it's taken us to get here. It's like 5 years later, and it's like, damn, we thought we were gonna be executing it in 8 months. We are up and running. We thought.
Yeah, true. I think the biggest thing that has happened recently is those. First of all, the laugh attack.
Yeah,
I was hosting Laugh Attack. You check it out on Roast House.
Roast House. Laugh Attack was the
Laugh Attack was the yes. So we used to do this mic at number 7 in Nairobi City, and then it was called the Laugh Attack. So there we started hosting a show called the Roast House, and I used to host it. It was rough. Eh?
It started out rough, but
I'm talking about the shows were nice, but my mental state just before, especially before the shows, it used to really work on me. I
dragged you into that.
I used to be like it's because you see the audience there is very aggressive
for the celebrity you came to roast.
It was a very nice learning curve, but sometimes guys don't understand the pressure guys go through while doing those things.
It's a lot of pressure, man. Like it was just a lot. Remember after the first one we did with not the third one now, I think Jalas. So we had that meeting with Eugene and we're like, we have to recalibrate this show because there was a lot of tension and it was actually going south a lot, very fast, right?
For the show
because it's like the audience is not laughing because they're going with the energy, and it's like, and then we realized one of the major flaws with that show was you have a bunch of people who are not known roasting notable personalities, people who are already known. It looks like just haterdom. It's like okay, you gotta fix this. So the irony is, somebody was telling me, I watched your roasts, guys, it's funny, the jokes are funny, but munalamba sana. I'm like, but that was the intentional thing we had to do to bridge that gap, right? Like, because I'm like, you watch like the roast of Kanyisa Mbao or something, like the Comedy Central roast.
It's brutal, no?
And it's brutal, but it's peers going at each other.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It's people who know who is who. That, so it's like
it's notable people,
notable personalities. It's like, so it's fair game. It's a real spectacle for the people watching it. They feel like the power balance is right.
But what I like about the roast is we sort of created our own model.
Yes, we did. Yeah,
which I think was really good. Some guys were were comparing our roasts to some of this American and South African.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not a must you do copy paste.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just come up with your own hybrid, man.
Yeah. It was a distinctively Kenyan style of roasting.
It was totally Kenyan style because we had, as you're saying, the praises. Because even look at our society alone.
Yeah.
If like there's this article which is trending on Facebook right now.
Yeah.
It's by some of this, these online press sites.
Yeah.
It's called Mzalendo Kenya. So they go and transcribe my joke about Jalas.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. So they transcribe it and
is
say,
that what was trending?
Yeah. And then they write up Oju, Emmanuel Kisiangani Sujui says he hates Jalas. Okay. So now they post it on Facebook, and then most guys don't read.
So they don't. Also, they didn't play the video.
It's
so
just,
that took away the
context. Article and
they transcribed it.
The headline.
Okay.
And then they narrate it, say in third person or something. So Emmanuel said he hates the last. But if you read it, you'll understand. But they've just put the headline there and posted it on Facebook. So guys up on the comments are tokana me, you guys.
And yet Jalas was the one who reposted that stuff. He
there one or two
joke.
guys are saying, no, man was joking. But most guys are saying, man, this guy is a hater. This guy
Why can't people just be happy for others?
This is a witch. There's somebody who said about witch, you guys. So that's what I'm saying. The society we are in.
Yeah.
People are not very aggressive in regard to digging out info. Yeah. So sometimes someone can just come across the roast. They're like, who is this unknown guy?
Yelling at
abusing this celeb of ours, and then they just start on you on the spot.
That's the praises, right?
Is that your phone? That's a car out there.
What kind of phone do I have? That's a Mat 3, you guys.
It's a Mat. Let me close the window, you guys.
Yeah, man.
I was like, what's up with your phone, you guys?
If anything, it sounds like an alarm clock, man. Those annoying alarm clocks you need to so that you can get up.
I thought you were using that to wake up. I'm like, this guy really needs to wake up, right?
This guy is really not a morning person.
So I was saying, so those things were necessary for our market.
For it to survive.
So you're watching the roast, you're feeling huruma for Bensoul. Then you hear this guy saying, I love you,
Manzenye, I'm a big fan. Love what you've done for the industry. Thanks a lot, man. Sincerely.
After Tukana you for that 10 minutes, you guys.
Actually, there was a time Nani was really, Eugene would be calling me and be like, you gotta do those praises, man. You gotta do those praises. Like, so anticlimactic, but it makes sense. So I had to take people David and Amandip. Those guys were brutal. They don't
even Murumba, you guys.
Even Murumba. So it'd be like, bro, you gotta work in the praises.
Check again.
Najua ni art yako, bro. Work in the praises.
Check Eugene. Let's work on the praises. Let's just add the praises so that we can just let's praise them. These are celebrities. We are running with the audiences. The people after me. Okay. Yeah. So now just add the praises. Okay. Eugene talks at 1.5.
Yeah, man.
1.5
speed.
Yeah. Shout out to Eugene. Really came through.
Yeah, Eugene came through a lot, man.
He came through with his mad
connections and everything, and got us three shows actually, right? 3 shows. Yeah.
3 shows. Which was the third one?
So he threw. TMI was a troopers
from Eugene.
Yeah, it was a bit of.
But Eugene has mad connections.
Yeah, he does.
Nobody invites me for parties at his house. Check, come to my place. Okay, you see, at my place I just do these elaborate parties, and then I just put a big table, and then all the people are there, very, very important people in the society, producers.
That's speed.
Where did you meet Eugene, you guys?
See, he came to a show. Came to shows.
I used to see him once in a while at Blues. Is that where you met?
He came to Blues, no, but he came to Two Grapes for Punchline.
Okay, Punchline,
Yeah, and then he came. So it's just one of those peeling an onion. Then he realized there's a Blues as well.
Okay.
So he came to Blues, and then we started talking. And then I was familiar with his work, right? Yeah. I was familiar with his work from then. So I was like, oh, it's Eugene, man, nice. Thanks for coming. And then I think that day we exchanged numbers, and then we had a talk and we just started having a conversation. It took almost a year because the whole 2021 is trying me to.
Were you talking about the shows or the open mics? What was that?
We're trying to figure out what to do. And then he also had number 7. He was doing renovations at number 7. He wanted us to do a show at number 7.
Yeah.
And at that time, the burnout of all the shows we were doing, and it's busy.
I think Blues was getting a few hiccups.
What?
Blues had a couple of hiccups.
No, we had been talking about. I had been there. I was there when they were doing renovations and stuff, but we couldn't find a day for number 7. That's one finally.
Oh, okay.
And then finally
So
said, let's just do Tuesday, because we had just started Mayura, and then we had some problems with Mayura for a bit. It was not picking up well enough, especially September. It was just our annual lull where everything dips in September, October, and then he said, okay, why don't we? Let's do Thursday. You can do 2 shows on a Thursday, like on Mayura. And I was like, yeah, I don't think, knowing what I knew, I was like, I don't think we'll pull it off. The room will die in 3 weeks. And then he said, let's do Tuesday. I was like, you know what? You were doing Captain's Terrace, right?
Yes.
On Tuesday, and then that one fell through because of Mombasa Road. I was like, let's do Tuesday.
Tuesday was one of those dead. It didn't look like a comedy night.
It didn't look like it would work for comedy, and then it just did. It worked for a year plus, and then the lull got us again.
Yeah, the comedy year is actually 9 months.
Yeah, it's 9 months.
I'm beginning to see that pattern.
That's the trend. Since 2018, it's always 9 months.
Unless you have... Okay, I think it's 9 months.
Yeah.
This is my own theory.
Yeah.
I think the comedy year is 9 months. And then the lull starts. And then in December, if you've been doing well through the 9 months, you'll get gigs in December.
Yes,
that's my
you get
my
now
theory.
Corporate and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. So you might reap really hard, really well from December, depending on the effort you put in. But in terms of the little money that comes here and there, the January all the way to October, you finish.
Zero money.
You guy
nothing, and
you can really jipata pabaya in December, you guy.
September, October, November, December is when you should make money.
Towards the end of October,
and that's global. Because I remember, even in Canada.
No, it can't be an entertainment industry thing, because you're talking about it's in global comedy.
In comedy. Yes, in comedy.
What do you think
I remember
the cause is?
In Canada, the peak seasons used to be actually the winter months. So September, October. September would be October. September was the fall. Like summer just ended. Still shows you're beginning to pick up on all these bookings. But then October, November, December, you're doing all these corporates, you're doing all these gigs left, right, and center. Then January, Marupurupu, Feb, and then March, and then zinaanza kurudi chini. March is one year, but then in Canada there's extra festivals. So in April, the festivals kick in. Festivals all the way till July. So you have the big 3, and then the other festivals all in between that period. But then the irony is, in July, usually from May to August, gigs are dead. There's nothing going on. It's everybody. People want to be out. They go camping. They want to be outdoors. They don't want. So because Canada is such long winters, people, when it's nice outside, people don't want to be indoors. They just want to be outside, going nature and all that stuff. But then that's the time also that the festivals happen around that time. But
it's interesting. But maybe one should plan. Although this is very now internal stuff, but. Maybe one should maybe if you plan a gig way before and it's a big gig, maybe guys would come through. I feel like holidays are not very good times for comedy.
They're not, but to be fair, it's because also we're not that big, right? Like, cause look at someone like Mamito, filled up that place. Same
season, right?
Same season, right? That's somebody with a big numbers. But CC working class, blue collar comedians. You don't, because now realize you are an everyday comic, that you're a working comic. People come to see you every week. They see you, they interact with you, they become, they come to decompress. They want to see they filter their worldview through you sometimes, right? They come. That's the idea, right? The idea is you work your ass off with your job, and then on the weekends you go and watch a comedian and you hear them rant about the same stuff that's been driving you nuts the whole time.
It's right? Like a commentary on
the general life, and then you laugh about it. You gain that higher perspective, and you go back to being productive, right? But then around December, you've been doing that. That's been your routine. That's your routine. That's all you need. And then it's now time to do special events, concerts. You're doing Soul Fest. You're doing, Sin City or whatever, Shin City. Sin City. You're doing the big things. That would be the ideal time to do even maybe the festivals and stuff. But it would have to be big names. We can't do the festival that we did in 2019. It's just us. And be like, guys, the same guys you've been seeing, come and see us now.
From January
to Meiva. This time to Meiva.
I tell you what is so big right now, vernacular artists, you guys. Those jangos were singing those paras, Nyabo, so by. Those songs? Hey, those guys are doing it globally, you guys.
They are right now.
Yeah. Germany,
really, they're killing.
Even you always see Samido traveling, you guys.
Oh, Samido, yes. All the Benga artists actually are killing it.
Even the modern, I don't know what genre it is. Kina Irish. What's that genre?
Folk fusion.
Yeah,
the folk music.
I think they're also really doing well. Those guys.
I think so.
Were you in Nanyuki? No, you weren't in Nanyuki.
I wasn't in Nanyuki. Did you guys go to the concert?
Yeah, we did.
How good was it?
Yeah, it was packed.
Dude, forget about packed. Those guys are good. Like I'm very picky with the concerts, but they have the folk fusion. They do it in Kikuyu. I attended that. It's one of the best concerts I've ever went to. And I don't speak Kuk, man. I don't understand what they're singing. I pick up a few words, but it was just the vibe was good.
Yeah.
Getting drunk and
the language
drinking porridge.
Matter. It's just how they do it.
The vibe is done.
Yeah. Like those jangos, those guys who sing those songs. And then the song is like, it's Ohangla, right?
Yeah.
The song is like 8 minutes. There's another guy called Onyango Swag. I don't know, something swag. Yeah, that guy, he has another song called Linda. Hey, you guys, that song when it's played, everyone stands up. Although it's kind of ngono tupu, you guys.
That's all. But a lot of vernacular, except this is like in Irish, which is not a lot of ngono, but it's a lot of comedy. But a lot of vernac music is really ngono, but in like meta terms. It's like hidden meanings. They do it in hidden version. Even the Calais ones. And then you're like, why? You're like that song, and then later you think about it, you're like, ngono, bro. You're ngono umepiga hapo mbaya. It's just weird. You know who else I'm excited to see actually? You're familiar with Les Wanyika?
Yes. Yeah, they seem to be on a resurgence.
They are a reunion, bro.
It's as if they're reunited with some newer
they're dealing with Wana Vocali and the Lafriques, the younger.
Even Kina Denga?
Yeah.
Then these guys who do crony productions. They do plays.
Yeah,
they do a lot of things with Les Wanyika nowadays.
We're working on something with Les Wanyika too. I'm doing.
What was that thing you were at Les Wanyika at in December?
It was going to the Rumba Heights at the
what was that?
Heights. It was just a concert for Les Wanyika. It was like.
But you guys really shangaza.
Actually, because we were doing something with them, so I was actually there on I'm doing it a work thing. We were doing doing a document.
I was really seeing you guys enjoying online.
And then after a while,
imagine this guy hata kuniambia maneno ya hii concert ya Les Wanyika na umefurahi sana hapo penye wako.
Let me tell you how I found out about this concert. So Gecko, we normally go to Gecko every few days, like a couple of days of the week, to watch the live bands, and then they had their night, Wana Vocali and Les Wanyika.
Oh, they were there.
They came. And then they were handing out these flyers, bro. I don't even think they had flyers online, bro. Like the posters were physical, like the old school they gave it. And then we were talking to them because there's a project we wanted to work with them on. Like this, we had been researching about some of their songs, and we're working on with Kina Rico Tribesman. And so we're like, they are here, so let's talk to them. And then who was there? The band leader and Sijali. His name is Sijali Zua. And so we talked to him, and it's really cool. He's like, I'll be open. And so they said, we actually have a gig coming up. We're like, perfect.
Oh, right.
We can even get some
Freedomites now.
Yeah, Freedomites will come and we'll live and do our thing there. We did, even photography, was Lexi did the photography that day. And and we went and chapeau, and then. So we went to do the half gig, talk about this stuff while also enjoying the gig. Bro, you forget that these are the original working class musicians, bro. These guys can sing for hours without Kwanza listening to them, it's like you're listening to a CD. Like, have you ever gone to like a band, your favorite band, you want to listen to them live, and you're listening to them, but it's different from the recorded version? These guys, not a smudge of a difference. And now imagine doing that with that amount of, and you find out their story. These guys used to perform, Garden Restaurant. It's still in
the one where guys do funerals. That's where that was their home.
I think there used to be a residency there. Those guys used to do gigs there for hours. Like you know, back then, excuse you book a band, they'll perform for 2 hours, 3 hours, and then DJ and take over.
Yes.
Those guys used to perform all night from 7 to 4 a.m.
Can you imagine how good you get? Okay, I know the journey is really tough.
The journey long,
but can you imagine how good you get?
Yes. So you have these guys. It's a phenomenal thing.
So what's
to
happening
watch
now? Is it now? Because I'm seeing them quite a bit now.
They reunited. Yeah, bro. This band broke out 20 years ago. That's how good they are. Their music is still tempering now. Timeless music. These guys broke up in 2000 Zuko ama early, even before. No, actually longer than that. I don't know exactly when.
I'm seeing them a lot with younger people, including you guys. So okay, comparative to them.
I'm a big fan.
So maybe if they combine their legendary status with a now modern youthful way of doing things, you know, selling tickets online, you know, like a photographer, like you're talking about, to small videos about what they're doing.
They've got
they can make that money afresh, man. Like real money now.
Real money,
because I feel like they have it. They've been doing this all. They have more than their 10,000 hours plus.
Yes, they have.
So they are now legend status.
They are legend status, man. These guys are in their 70s. It's so good. But like you see, they have a young manager, a youthful manager, and a PR company working with them. I forget the name, but the guy is Boni. His name is Boni. There's another lady who works with them, and they're the ones now bringing them on to or like helping them come into the. I think they'll kill it, man. I'm really excited to see them in concert again and even see them release new music.
Me, I'm always excited for artists who are, you know, making their way, you guys.
Like, they're the perfect example, right, of what we need. Like, that's a journey. Like, you get so good at your craft, that level.
It's like fine wine, you guys. Like in a Nani song. Ben Sol, you guys. Check it, fine wine. I knew that song only because those guys came to the roast.
Oh, yeah?
I had no idea
who they are.
I need to educate myself on local celebs, even at the roast.
And considering how big Ben Sol is, like,
I'm
like, how did you not know? Like, I was really shocked when you said you don't know. So I was like, you're really old, man.
It's not even age. I don't know what it is.
No, I get it. You stop paying attention to pop culture. To be fair, hata mimi zinanipatanga too. It's like how many times I've contemplated taking down my social medias, but then I realized
the only reason
it's because it's my storefront. That's where I work.
Yes, like, that's the only reason.
Connected to my
Actually, the day I met, I was at Erico's house. Those days I used to hang out with Erico. Erico, the comedian. The manager was my buddy. So remember, Erico Mondi, the comedian. His manager, Erico Mondi, also is my friend. Yes, with a K at the end. With a Q or a K.
Yes.
So this guy, I've gone to meet Eric, the manager. We used to call him manager. So we've gone to own a manager kwa Eric. So ingeo kwa nani, Eric is over there, the comedian walking around. Some chick is sitting over there on the couch. So I come in, I salamia guys. I sit next to that chick. There's nowhere else to sit. So he comes in, you guys, how are you filming this chick? You guys don't know this chick? So I'm like, I don't know, man, honestly. And I was being honest. So that chick was Sophia Wanona, you guys.
Who is Sophia Wanona?
You guys, that is so funny, you guys.
So, I am familiar with the name. But she's a news chick. Something. That's what I thought.
She reads the news.
But I thought it would be funny if I do the exact same thing, play it back to you.
No, man, you don't know. You guys. You got me on that one, you guys. So now, Wanuna, you guys, kanuna sana.
Alinuna?
Man. She thought I'm feeling sweet or something.
Really?
But honestly, I didn't
because you don't watch TV, you don't watch news. How do you know?
You know, sometimes you get lost in your life, man.
No, I'm familiar with Sophia Wanona. But the irony, so what I was saying is, with watching those guys, and I feel like a lot of new musicians and even artists can just learn from watching these guys, is they're so good at their craft. There's a time in disconnect in the artistic journey, in the career in Kenya generally. I don't know about other African countries, where being an artist ceased being about being an artist, but it's about the fame, being a famous person. And a lot of people just pursue fame. Like right now, one of the things is people discuss is hacking, how to trend, like how to be trending, how to be in people's mouths. And I'm always like, but if your art can really stay with them, you know, you thinking about longer. Timelessness.
Yes. No, that's very important. You guys, when I was on radio, when I didn't get radio, there's some comedian guy who came to see us. I was there with Eric, the co-host, and the chick who we were hosting with. So this guy walks in and says, hey, you guys, it was new. We just started. So this guy says, so kenye mnafaa kudu ni Manu we jifanya una day to day. Now my ghost. Alafu mseme mmekosana. It's a trend bana. ita trend. First tuseme uko na affair, si uko married. So mseme uko na affair na udem, alafu sasa
ita trend.
Mkosane alafu sasa ita trend, alafu sasa radio show yenu itashika. So I'm like, are you what's it called, reality TV show host, or are you a radio host?
The truth is, as an artist, that publicity is still needed. But the problem is when it overtakes everything, it's the only thing that seems to be needed.
Yeah, which is
publicity nuts. And it's like, okay, what about the art, bro? What about what you do? What about the craft?
Yes.
What about the art, the craft, the craft of the art?
Yeah.
What about it?
And that is why I think, as you're saying, because now I'm getting that revelation, many things don't last long because they've not put that timelessness aspect of putting in the work. They're so just looking for surrounding things around so that you trend.
Pop, yeah.
And you guys must say you'll trend for one day and guys will forget you the next day. You guys competing with trends
and then it becomes a rabbit hole, because now you're groveling for attention. You're not doing what you do. Instead of getting better at what you do, you get better at PR. Get a job at PR, like at a publicity company. Then, then after that it's like, you know what, just go work for, because you're not doing what you set out to, what you do.
Because you can go create those things for even political parties. So the guys who travel around the world during elections in different countries, then they tell you a PR strategy. Can you fanya sema umequiti party? Okay. Alafu sasa
Kenya tutadu. Speaking of which, have you watched a new movie by Jon Stewart called Irreplaceable?
No, there's a new movie
on Netflix. It's directed by Jon Stewart. It's exactly what you're describing about, like those political strategists.
All right.
It's one of the few movies I'm gonna watch a few times.
Have you watched it?
It's being played by Steve Carell.
Okay.
Yeah, from The Office. Remember Steve
Carell? Yes.
And it's Jon Stewart who directed this movie, and it's so good, man. It's just so well written.
It's talking about how you can play people's minds.
Yeah. So it's this guy, this big time democratic guy who runs campaigns, runs scandals for politicians to create attention and hype. It's just become so empty. Goes to a small town because of something that trended, and then he wants to use it for the Democratic Party to revive them in that area, and they go there and they pump a whole bunch of money into that small town. Small town was about getting liquidated because it's not it's the economic activities, it's died down. Brings a lot of attention to that small town and reverses the trend of it's going down, and then it ends in a deadlock. There's something complicated about their law of election and how it works, so they bring all this Washington DC nonsense to a small town. And in the process, they revitalize the thing. I'm doing spoilers now. Spoiler alerts, by the way. Do you like spoilers?
Yeah, I don't mind. In fact, sometimes when I'm watching a movie, I go and check that spoiler.
Me too. I love spoilers. I love spoilers. I want to know where I'm going. But anyways, watch it. It's really good. I don't want to ruin it completely. Irreplaceable.
But have you? Isn't it quite interesting how?
Are you still recording?
Should we check?
Check.
Yeah, let me check.
Just to be sure.
Stretch your leg, Mino.
Yeah, I'll be here. I'm stretching it here. Good evening, viewers. Still good? You're quiet, you guys.
Welcome to Professional View. No, it's recording, you guys.
Okay. So you
I don't know what happened to my producer today, you guys. My producer was at home when the guest was already here.
Calls you and be like, no, I'm leaving now.
You guys, these other guys, this Generation Z guys think different. They don't think like us guys.
I'll go ahead and say your producer's a bit different, but yes, I see
no, but he still has some ziness.
Yeah, there's a ziness
ndani yake you guy. Cheki Manu haukusema 2:30
Steve
ni late. Cheki quote me, I said kuja 2:30 p.m. Cheki hapana, no, what you said. Cheki, I know what I said, you guy. So yeah, I was saying this Generation Z, No, that's not what I was saying. I was saying that the way, because we're talking about that movie you're talking about, the way it's easy for a narrative to be spun out there. Yeah. So, like, it's quite interesting to me. In fact, it's made me nowadays, when I see something, I don't dive in. Because sometimes you can even be sent to, especially during elections. Remember during elections?
Yeah, oh, dude.
Somebody can just send you one thing.
I don't believe nothing, man.
So now you're believing a lie.
Yeah, and you're living with it, bro. Yeah? You're out there saying, unajua watu wanakulanga watu.
You guys remember during elections, you guys, there was another video which was sent to the WhatsApp, about guys celebrating. Ati now Rao has won. Check guys were check to count votes. So Rao ameshinda banai.
Like they were doing that to manipulate.
So opinion. I don't know what the heck that was.
I know exactly what it is.
Like, what was that? What was that celebration?
To manipulate opinions and make the other part manage their expectations, so that if they do anything funny, it will be like, yeah, but we saw walikuwa wameshinda yenyewe. Tuliona a private video wakiwa wana record.
That was the day I know how like the online thing can really mess with your brain. Kidogo you guys in Rao have gone to and tandika the red carpet.
See, I'm telling you, this country is one big publicity stunt. That's all they do. Everybody's doing that non-stop.
You guys was hanging out with Titus, your bro. This guy's bro is called Titus. So he was telling me that when he saw those red carpets, his heart sank.
Because he was on the other side.
I think he left his phone, threw it away. You guys went, I think, to mourn outside Kiasi. So these guys are just playing with your mind. And I feel that's not the only time they do these things.
They do this throughout the year.
But
throughout the year, you can always tell.
Spinning something daily.
You can always pick it out too. By the way, if you become pessimistic enough, like you become more analytical, you can always pick it out. You're like, and then the pattern of dissemination too. You see, it's this guy starts saying it, and then this, and then like a blog, and then it trends on Twitter, and then it's a news item. I even feel like they do it. Even politicians do it to put out feelers. Like remember about the ones for Uhuru should stay extra terms. I feel like they do the feelers. They start putting it out there, and then one person is a sacrificial, or you hear Ruto saying, like not a Ruto, like a Ruto diehard, seemingly saying, the president we should do away with term limits. I feel like there's an intentionality. Someone in the
they know
in the
how
mix,
the
in
matrix
the mix
works.
wants it. Mimi Kenya nakwambia imejaa hii Kenya pia, because of that, as a result of that, Kenya imejaa walambi. People who don't mean,
they don't stand for anything.
They don't stand for anything.
For nothing.
They would rather do it to suck up to the boss and show you. Half the time probably Uhuru is unaware, and then they'll tell him, let's see what I did for you. I made this happen.
Or he has his own agenda.
He has his own agenda. Uhuru just wants to go and relax, bro. It's tired or whatever.
So some guy just announces Uhuru anataka kubaki.
And you can tell, and it started with the because, and it's in the DNA of our politics. Is our politics for a long time, even to date, was a political client patronage system. You get the idea that the patron,
the big man,
has guys that he does favors for, and then in return they do things for him. It's not a system. It's not institutional systems. It's like Moise telling you, giving you a go ahead to have impunity in Luandeti. To do whatever you want. In exchange you are his man.
It's a chess game.
It's chess game. So what you end up doing, and then what happened, what I observed in the last couple of years, in the last 10 years during the Jubilee regime, with this workaholic, the deputy president, what he started doing was, and that's why you realized a lot of the guys who are big in different regions. You like Maina Commander is big in Central, Makusema wa Coast, Makusema wa Wapi, all these guys, he started bypassing them, which was not the way these guys came up. These guys came up whereby where Isaac, Ruto, mambo yako Bomet, as long as you have Bomet, you tell me you have it for me, we're good. Modavadi, Western, Kalonzo, Ukambani. You bring me Ukambani, deliver Ukambani, I'll give you anything. I'll keep you happy, I'll keep you everything. And then he does that. It's just delegation, really. But now with the extra handouts and the dirty game, and now these guys started doing this thing where he's not going through the local leaders, he's going there. Like you remember the fight they had with Isaac Ruto to take over Bomet.
That thing
bana. He goes to Central, he did a lot of those trips in Central, like, and people used to be like, no, Kikuyus will never vote for another Kikuyu. No, they will vote for whoever they saw. Like, because at the end of the day you have to realize everyone, despite people saying it's just tribalism, people are human. Humans connect with the other humans. The whole tribalism thing was when there was no information over the other side. Now people know that people are people. Like you grew up with Cukes, with the Luos, you grew up with Calais, you know their people. You don't.
They're not a tribe first. Then,
and then a person
second.
Yeah, remember that thing we were talking about with about how your mother, their generation is like. It was such a cognitive
it was like,
dissonance.
what's your name and
if
then
you are
what's
friends
your tribe?
with someone from another tribe, you had to qualify it. You know,
like those ones I was in Meru, you guy. Yeah. So I meet this guy. I was with the Mrs. Uko in Meru. Yeah. So we go visit some village.
Yeah.
So the guy is like, Unaitwa nani? Check Emmanuel nani? So I said Kisengani. You know you can't place Kisengani.
Is that Kisi? Is that
Emmanuel nani? Kisengani. Kutoka wapi?
Nairobi. Screw him even further.
But he bought me though.
Yeah.
Where the heck do you want to know what?
But that's how they do.
First of all, I don't know who the heck you are.
So
you have to know my tribe. You guys may have been growing up in Nai.
Yeah.
I don't even, I'm not familiar with the nuances of my shacks.
But it's back
so
to
now,
that.
if I tell you my tribe, that doesn't mean you know me.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
Even if I told you my name is Wanjala Esquire Shikweko.
Yeah.
You guys, it won't. You'll have your own. Mentality of who I am, but that's not who I am.
That's not who I am. No, but the truth is, you also have to accept it. It's a reality that it's a human thing. I don't know if it's for threat management.
Maybe to place you.
To place you, because it's for profiling.
Yeah,
because I need to know what you're. And most of the times, those profiles also will have to because these. Your habits you're socialized into specific habits. If you're a Maasai, chances are you know how to tend to cows because you are socialized into it. That doesn't mean it's in your DNA, but you are nurtured into it, right? And so back then it used to make a lot of sense because even that's how the colonial people also did. They divided people. Be like, these guys are already pastoralists. So when you're taking servants, you take a Maasai to take care of your cows. They live close to, or Kale or whatever, and then they live close to the animals, wild animals. Get a Maasai for security. They know what to do with the lion.
But it's interesting how where you're born affects your life. Like if say my dad was a Mokorino, shout out to all the Wakorinos, I'd be wearing a turban right now.
Right
if my dad was a Lejo Maria, maybe I would have had a drum here as part of the props. You get
so the point.
Like it's so it's so weird how and I was having this convo with some chick and she was saying there you're like self, you're not really self, you're just a sum total of your
experiences and your environment. Now your experiences is the new things, but the environment, yes, absolutely, because you get socialized into
how you
it.
Think.
But the idea is, and it also saves you time. See, because for you to grow, you can't learn everything about the universe in one fell swoop. You have to. There's some knowledge that is passed down to you. You have to adopt it. You don't want to find out for yourself that fire is gonna burn.
You don't want to start from scratch, right?
Yes, you will know because people will tell you don't go near the fire, and you'll be like, why? You'll be like, you'll burn. You'll be like, oh, turns out I'll burn. And then every now and then you'll break those rules, and you'll find out. You fuck around and you find out, and then you're in trouble. And then now you know, right? Now you got your lesson. So it's your choice to keep discovering new lessons or to believe what they told you. But some of those lessons were also steeped in biases of what was going on at that time, the context of those particular times. They might not necessarily apply now. That's why you have to also constantly interrogate them so that the philosophies around them make sense. You can make sense of it. You can place it. And to be fair, to that point, it's just a human thing. We have to classify, so we do that, and be like, oh, so he's like, cool, he probably knows how to do this, yada 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 yada, and then it gets debunked over time. So that's what I remember. That's why we used to qualify the older generation. They used to qualify. They have to ask for your tribe. They ask your name and then they'll know the tribe. They didn't even have. When it became not kosher to ask for tribe, they ask for the last name. Then they can place it themselves. And then they will qualify it. You remember how, if I was friends with you in the early 80s, Kisiangani, and then I'll be introducing you to my friends. Well, like my friend, Emmanuel Kisiangani. Ni Muluya, lakini huwezi jua ni Muluya. Like you have to qualify that. No, he's a good guy. It was just their way of saying he's just my friend. But because other Kales will be like, why are you friends with Lunje? Why did you give that nini to a Lunje? Wezi nijua ni mluya, ni mtu mzuri sana. And then you'll have to be like, okay, like, because of what was in their minds about that community, it's the placing, it's all that.
Do you think the internet has helped break those barriers? I think it has brought guys closer, I guess.
It has.
And then it has made the culture sort of semi-uniform because if I go to Webuye right now, I just find a guy who looks like you. Maybe the way I know is a Webuye and is how he speaks.
He speaks, yeah.
But anakaa wewe anaenda massage kwa kinyozi. He has a drink in the evening before going to his house.
I wouldn't say internet has played a big role in that. I think cosmopolitanism has done that. Nairobi, these big urban centers and people traveling to those centers is what, because you realize the tribalism still kind of exists for people who still live there. Like people in Webuye and people in Mwatate huko Taita Taveta, they don't get to interact with these people as much, but now through the internet they see a bit of it. They get a window through it. But the real change, the real thing that did the change was people moving to Nairobi. People moving to urban centers, Mombasa, Kisumu, people from other tribes moving to those things, and then they interact, and then they start realizing, then they start intermarrying, and they start realizing, oh, these are just people, you know. Those generations, actually, the 90s and 80s generations of knowing each other, the ones who started being friends with people like, hey, Masai bana, kuja hapo, Masai.
Guys used to call
each other Masai, and all that.
Moluya.
Yeah, Moluya. But the last ones, when mpaka saizi hawajaachiliwa ni wa Masai. Masais are still called Masais everywhere.
And maybe because their culture is so strong.
Yeah, it's still.
But I wonder how they've maintained it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird.
Like it's strong till now, you guys. In fact, most of if you travel abroad, people carry Masai shukas.
Yeah, Kenyans pretending to be Masais.
Yeah. So it's like the Kenyan identity is that Masai identity.
Yeah. That's interesting, man.
So you guys, bana, 2023 comedy unaonaje? Tunafika wapi na hii komedia bana? How long did guys used to, because I know the audience, some of the guys watching are some of these comedy buffs. Like how long before you stop repeating a certain joke, you guys?
Oh, it depends, man. It really depends. But I think with the internet, that period is getting shorter and shorter. Like, because I'll tell you this, when I was starting out comedy in Canada,
in Calgary, in Montreal,
Calgary, Lethbridge, Alberta, by the way, you do that too for radio. You know, when I was in radio, this guy used to have a job, but when I was starting out, like there was these guys I would used to work with, like I would open for these old timers, funny headliners, funny as hell, who used to have material they've been doing for 15 years. They go to different places every time. It's new every time. By the time you come back to a new place, that audience has watched it once and they want to see it again.
Oh, okay. They miss it.
Yeah, because also the audiences have learned to enjoy the performance and everything more than, you know, because I mean, it's at the end of the day, comedy it's really inward. It's like, you have the laugh, you have everything. I'm just saying things. You know, it's the audience, it's you. I'm just helping you laugh. It's a natural response that you already have, but how comes you're not laughing at home by yourself? No. I have to make you do it, right? So I feel like in a way it's just learning how to enjoy comedy. But with the internet, at least jokes that rely on elements of surprise don't survive. Like that you know, time shelf, whatever, shelf life is shorter. But back in those days, you know what used to happen is guys used to have to compete for very few opportunities. Like you're competing to showcase your material on TV, and the TV would have to pay you a ton of money too. It wasn't even a lot, but it's you to showcase an Omoka and go. It was also, to be fair, even to that market, I think it was a bit short-sighted that everything you did was for the sake of Omoka as opposed to doing it to earn a living, which there's a lot of people who figured out how to do it for earn a living. But so before your turn came to be showcasing for just for laughs or for any BBC TV, whatever, it would take 10 years, right? It would take 7 years, 5 years. So you'd have to perfect that material. So by the time they saw you, killer. It's tight.
I think, especially with this, like the professional scene in the States, like when you reach a certain level of killing, you know, after that, I just want to see you the way I see a rhino. So I know how a rhino looks. I just love seeing you.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah,
and then when I see you, yes, you may not be killing, but you've killed so much in the past that I trust you so much that, you know, I just want to be around you and watch what you do.
I think that would be even for celebs more than anything, right? But then there's the like working class comics, again, like who are not that famous, but they make a very decent living doing comedy. And that that thing, they get that, they know how to do what to do with the audience as well. Even if the audience is not responding, they know how to fix it up.
It's only that they're not famous, but they're killers.
They're killers. And then again, over time, you learn how to make what the base of your joke is. What is the joke? What is it about the joke that makes it work? What's the trigger for the joke? Is it you know what I mean? It's like the ones for elements of surprise, like I said. Then if it's a hacky thought, it's been done before, however much you do it differently, it'll still be known. But so I think the time is getting shorter because you have the option of self-publishing. Maybe you're trying to accelerate your growth. You might not get paid, but it might result in gigs. It might not, but it's a constant game of hit and miss. So the idea that you're self-publishing a lot of the times means you'll put out your stuff this year a few times this month, and it doesn't hit anything. By the end of the year, you don't have your act is already exposed, right? It's already been done. You have no choice but to write another act, which works for the better of comedy, but also you might burn out. Who the hell knows?
But do you think a comedian can honestly truly do more than one really killer special?
More than one?
Yeah,
I think so.
I feel like there's just one which is killer. But the other ones are, they're good.
I don't think
it's
so.
like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was never able to reach the Thriller level. May I feel like this is my own theory.
But it's for you only.
There's a place where you peak. Yes, you're good, and yes, you're a legend. But I feel like there's a place where you won't go beyond. But then
get this: those specials are the best favorite specials are good for different people.
Yeah, because
like
people have a different palette. Right?
Thriller is what was picked for you. Maybe for someone else, it's a different album that was picked for them.
No, but for the market. I'm talking about, say, sales.
No, but also there are also market
sales
forces.
Is a reflection of the market. Like, remember which was the comedy special that Eddie Murphy did in Red?
And then there's another one. I don't even remember the name.
You remember the one where he's wearing a red pantsuit? Okay, I don't know what that thing.
No, I'll explain what I think
So now there's that one and another one. But I remember the red one more because I feel like it was on a higher level. But the other one was.
See, it's funny. I never connected with either of them.
Yeah.
So what do you say for that, right?
But also the market really connected with the one where he was in Red.
No, it was just the first time he showed up. It's like Kevin Hart. Look at it this way. You've been working on that same special for Kevin Hart's. Your favorite special from Kevin Hart is which one?
I think Laugh at My Pain one
or something. The first one.
The new ones, Mazeazi.
Because you know why? He built that material for almost 7 years. And then when he released it, it was perfect. The moment you get that success, they start offering you money to do another one.
But that's what I'm saying.
So the problem is not your ability. The problem is the ones who keep giving you. Like ideally, what they should have done is now get another guy just as good as Kevin Hart to do his also good special as they give time to Kevin Hart to rebuild up.
Because I feel time to rebuild.
Yeah, because if Kevin Hart had taken time to build another one, he would have come up with another killer just as good as that one. But because the latest special you've seen from him, you're like, surely you're still funny, but this is poorly workshopped. This special Ijafika, the levels that I know you are capable
like
of.
Even,
but it doesn't matter because it's about the money at that point.
Yeah. Right? Like even Trevor Noah, you guys.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
Like, but then again, maybe I just don't relate now. Because he's filling up stadiums abroad, like in all over Europe.
No, but at that point also, you are also ignoring the element of TV that he has. Like that what TV did to him, like having that show, just gave him an extra audience. Whether it's because even like now for MJ too, it means you just got exposed more, you did more publicity, and then after that you went back to less of it. Or people came for the spectacle and then they're like, I saw it, nothing special, or I'll come back again type of a deal. Me, I think there's so many other factors, but I do think the ability to deliver genius is infinite.
Oh, you think so?
I think it's infinite.
I think that's now genius.
Yeah,
genius is now the ability to deliver genius like consistently.
And then, but the idea is it will always relate differently to different people. Because now the people who are at that same stage with you. So for now, there are things that maybe you did as if Kevin Hart did them a few years ago, they didn't do that well, and then they are now at that point where they can do that and relate to the right people for that. But for you, the point you got him was a perfect crossover point for you. He is going like this, you're going like this, or is whatever it is. Mukapatania hapo, hiyo special na wewe mukapatana itashika na wewe. Wewe ukapata mwingine, you found another Jim Gaffigan at his genius, at his point whereby the intersection of you relating with them and them coming in is the genius, I think.
But you don't think in life people are just created to do more or less one thing?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, so like I don't know.
No,
maybe that doing things.
Because also
that thing of being genius infinitely, maybe it's not a human quality. Like there's just one thing which you'll do well,
and I don't think
then
it's also,
you'll just live on that thing. Like remember, most guys remember just one thing, like the light bulb guy, the Wright brothers. I'm sure those guys had other little things.
Yeah.
So I think if you translate that theory even to comedy,
what about Chappelle?
Maybe it's just one thing. Chappelle now is more like a sage now, you guys. Like he's reached that level where he can just sit here and just talk. So even if you laugh
but his stuff
for
is still
30
good.
minutes. No, his stuff is good.
Yeah.
But there's no great demand. You see, if Chappelle just releases a talk, like what we are doing right now, even if he just does a 10-minute, that thing will just go viral because of who he is.
So in a way, I think it gets clouded.
He reached that level because in the past there's a thing he did. Maybe it was Chappelle show, maybe it was quitting, maybe it was
for instance,
special. So when you reach that level of genius, now after that you're just celebrated for the rest of your life. You don't have to do it again because you're unable to do it.
But he did a couple of those, is what I'm saying. Right, he did the Chappelle show. He did he did a comedy special around that time, and then he did like the latest one. See, he took time. The last one after his comeback, the first one for his comeback, the first two specials, they were really good.
When he had come back,
yeah, but they were really good. That you're like, just as good as I remember the first one that I saw of him as well. And remember, I was never big. It took me a while to understand Chappelle.
Yeah, me too.
Because it was North American culture. Like even the Chappelle show, I didn't connect with
it. That's what told me on Chappelle, by the way.
Yeah, really.
Chappelle show.
Yeah, but now that aside, my point is his special. What was the special that he did a few years ago? Before the more
Sticks
recent.
and Stone, though?
No, that one was the newest one after he came back. Before his comeback.
It wasn't Equanimity or
no, like I'm talking about when he was skinny. He was a kid.
Oh, and that was after he was doing it in some hall. He's wearing some purplish.
I don't even remember what it was.
I don't remember what it was called.
But I do remember him as a younger comic delivering genius.
Yes,
then he went, rebuilt, took his time, came back with Sticks and Stone and Equanimity.
Take it be wondering what
and then
it is.
For me, that special was so good. The Sticks and Stone was really good, and I was just like, okay, I laughed. And then there's another one after the Sticks and Stones that I just laughed my ass off, and I'm like, so the idea that of course now he's reached the level where he can keep churning it out. So for me, watching that, realizing that, I realized, no, it can work because his first few things were also, there was a few crap that he put out that just disappeared, right? Like they didn't disappear, they had impact. He was on TV and everything, but he just put them out there. And then he got to that special, like he got to that level. So for me, what I keep seeing happens, like that's my point, is what keeps happening is you get known for something. It's just the human thing of trying to place you. Kevin Hart releases a very good comedy special, and the next day is being shown money for 3 years non-stop. Give me another one. And he's like, okay, he'll take the money. He chooses the money and he takes the money. Before the stuff is ready, he puts it out. Before he takes it through the rigorous process that he took the initial ones. Yeah. Now, so the disadvantage is sometimes even that rigorous process is completely impossible for him. You know why? Because he's famous.
Yeah.
You can't, as he's a famous guy, he can't just take any laugh to be a laugh. Some of it is caused by the excitement, right? But he's taking those laughs. That's why he's putting out stuff that are subpar to his standard, to me, at some point. But he's really funny though, right? Like, and it's his choice. It's the journey that I think he chose. Okay. Like the last special that I watched of Kevin Hart, and I'm like, I really struggled with it. But the first 2, 3, I was like, that's juice.
So but maybe you're right. Genius can be infinite, because even with Kevin Hart, if you keep trying, you might angukia another one, which is just as killer. But now if you give up and relax, you know.
Kevin Hart has given us so much. Like he's given the world so much. Not given us. He's given us so much. He's given the world so much. He's doing movies.
Yeah.
Like movies is a whole other ball game as well.
Yeah,
he's churning out stuff, genre. TV shows non-stop. Like he's running away from not having money.
Yeah. And I think that's what Eddie Murphy did. Huh?
Yeah.
He may say this stand-up thing is crazy. Not I just do one movie a year and make my $40 million or 20.
Yeah.
Then I go back and prepare for the next movie, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But so in my opinion, I think it's a bottomless pit, because I even remember this specific anxiety I had when I did. You remember the first few jokes that I did in 2014? There were some bits that I stopped doing even.
Yeah.
And I remember killing so hard. I was like, man, will I ever write another bit like this?
Yeah, I also have that, you guys.
Then
in fact, the reason I've changed my mind is, if at all you can't replicate genius, that means you'd rather just be dead then. Huh?
Yeah.
Because don't try again.
Yeah, don't try again.
Yeah,
but for me, it's practical. Like, I came back to Kenya and even doing bits, and I was like doing jokes, and it's not even connecting, bro. It took a while to reconnect. And then sometime, 2 years ago, 3, I started just figuring out how to connect again. Like, and then bits that I'm happy about as much as I was happy with those ones. I was like, I wish they had the same platform, but they are just as good as what I did back then.
Mm-hmm.
Even for that, even when we did that mini special for Comedy Riot, which we didn't even end up talking about, we might do at the time. That mini special, I even brought back an old bit just for the sake of it. Because I was like, that joke was timeless. It used to be so universal, so timeless. I gotta put it here, because I was like, the new stuff that I'm doing, I'm like, the stuff that even I haven't even finished doing. I left it, but I'm like, I'll come back to it later. In 2020, 2021, 2022 even, I look at this stuff and I'm like, I wish they had the right platform. The same way the Kinagarbagas and stuff that I had when I had the festivals, and I would get the Canadian TV to put it on, and I was happy that I'm doing this, and then it's being put out, and then I had the anxieties of, will I ever get, like, so that's why sometimes it was so hard to let go of those bits, because I'm like, will I ever write as good as this again? And then kumbe tu ni jam. The moment I removed it from my mind, I stopped performing it, all of a sudden, kumbe tu ilikuwa jam. Like, I have more ideas coming, I'm excited about new things, and I'm like, let's keep doing this. So I think it's possible.
I heard some guy talk about Trevor Noah saying that he's very fast at churning out new bits. That's his real gift.
Getting
then
over
he's
it.
not scared of doing that.
Getting over it.
I think a man is also like that. He loves trying new bits, whether they're bombing or not.
Amandip.
Check, they don't care. You guy, but not me. I'm doing my jokes.
I feel like Amandip does comedy for himself.
He's the only self-comedian.
You're the one who was saying that.
Yeah,
that's why I got it. I was hoping for you pick up your latch on him. Like, this guy is doing this comedy for himself.
Me don't care, but
and then
I'm doing jokes. They don't care. You guys think I care? I'm here doing jokes. I'm a camera, I'm recording my stuff.
I mean, I don't care. I just want to do comedy for me, bro. It's a good place to be, honest.
But it's good because it's turned out a lot of new
good stuff. It's good. It's good because, like, as long as you get over it. Get over your stuff, man. Like, that's what you tell yourself. Get over your shit, man, and do stuff.
So, Comedy Riot is coming up on 4th of February. Please buy tickets. Comedy Riot, I think it's the finale now. We've done 13. We're gonna do 13 episodes in total, right?
13 episodes.
So the finale, I think after we are done, I had a lot of things to talk about Comedy Riot, but I feel like first let's finish. At least let's finish season 1.
And then we can fix the
because there's a lot of things about.
You need a lot of kinks with even our preparation and stuff.
Not even that.
And then,
like
the politics at which you did it.
The politics around it.
That was annoying. That was.
I feel like when we are done, we'll have a nice convo on those stories because there's a lot to learn.
I don't even want to pay attention to it at the moment. Me, tumalizane na kazi kwanza. I'm focused, man.
Have you ever watched another guy called Hellboy? Did you watch Hellboy movies?
I think I'm not sure. Maybe.
Hellboy was another character. He has big horns, but they were cut. He's red. So there's a series of movies by Hellboy. So there was another guy who was working with Hellboy. So he was telling him that he has to remain focused.
Be focused.
Take Agent Hellboy. You need to remain focused. So I think that's the key to it.
There's
a lot of distractions which can drag things down. As Ken Beda says, shout out to Ken Beda. Ken Beda is a comedian from Voi. Ambaye amekatalia huko Voi. Ken Beda by the way, man. Ken Beda amekatalia kupanda stage.
Lakini akona kazi huko Voi.
He should come and detox you guy as he's performing on stage. Chika, I don't want to Manu. I don't want to disrespect the audience.
It's weird. Ken Beda is one of those guys you can converse with for hours.
Chika, I don't want to disrespect the audience by repeating the material which I've not tested on a paid show. So that is why I'm not performing. And it's funny, you guys. He's a very small guy, but he can fix you guys.
Yeah, he's so funny.
He's a jiu-jitsu master. I told him I'm joining jiu-jitsu, but sijapata gym bado hapa Kite.
You know, unamuenjoy. You're just doing it just to excite.
I'm not enjoying him.
You
guys are getting jiu-jitsu.
Yo, jiu-jitsu nitaingia.
Checking me, you guys Kite nyonge guy just for the sake of it. Unacheza na nani wewe? Unajua mimi najua jiu-jitsu.
But I don't think that is that even jiu-jitsu what he does? It's something else.
It's jiu-jitsu, you guys. It's jiu-jitsu.
Ile kulala chini na
kuko that one you just shake a guy and then just shikilia.
It's
not for
it's not for aggression.
Kupigana makonde.
Sema konde yeah.
He was telling me that a small chick and once that chick, I think you were there, right?
Yes.
Once a small chick shika you properly,
yes.
You guys, you're gone, you guys.
Even his sister, she plays that.
She's a jiu-jitsu.
Like she can finish.
How do you call someone who practices jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu.
You guys, that is a lie, you guys.
What is jiu-jitsu really?
Yeah?
What is jiu-jitsu? Is it that's what I feel like there's another name for it.
No, man. Which name, you guys? Jiu-jitsu is a genre on its own, you guys.
Hey, Ken Beda, hiyo game unachezanga inaitwa nini?
But tungemcall leo sikubeba hiyo kitu yangu. You know this podcast thing you can call.
There's a thing of calling and be like tuma kwa 07 0788.
You guys, check it. Let's call Ken Beda. Check it. Hello, Ken Beda.
Hello.
This is Manu kwa Kisingani podcast.
Yes.
So now, jiu-jitsu ni genre on its own ama
ni nini, yeah?
So no, but thanks for coming to the pod.
For sure, man.
You guys, you'll be a regular mazi.
Unaona kanda kwa regular.
Mimi naona tuko regular.
Chapa hiyo kitu bro.
Tumeongea
tumekaa.
Tunapiga mastory. Tumeongea almost 2 hours.
Holy.
Hopefully that did you do you did the Ikonini podcast, right?
We did it for 4 hours.
You vibed.
I think he gave up on editing my episode. You guys listen from here to here. Yeah.
You did 4 hours.
4 hours plus.
You did plus an hour. Yeah, you guys. Me, I thought I'm the one who holds the record.
Right.
Me, I did 3 hours 39 minutes.
I think a lot of people do almost 4. Yeah, I did 4 hours for sure. 4 hours plus.
Yeah.
So
but those guys have grit, huh?
Yeah, but
you get 3 hours, you guys.
Yeah. Check. Unaona hiyo kitu iko aje? Udem alikuwa na rasa ya
Mwaf can ask you a question.
And then he knows
your marriage.
He knows what he's doing to you. He's like, kitu kaya isha kufanyikia. I'm like, come on, Mwaf.
Cheki ushaiangalia rasa ya neighbor wako mwenye anaishi next door. Cheki.
Cause nakumbuka cheki Mwaf. Nakumbuka hiyo siku ude nakaniletea hiyo alafu hiyo rasa ikanichapa makofi. Kitu kaya isha kufanyikia.
Yeah, that is so
fun, man. It was
shout out to Mwaf. Mwaf has really done good for the comedy scene.
Yeah, man.
That guy has promoted us, you guys.
Yeah, he's been ametushikilia mkono sana bana.
Even before he started inviting guys, he just used to talk about
our stuff, man. Yeah.
And then he'd come for the roasts and just see tuko nyuma. I never even used to know he's there.
Yeah, bana. Yeah, he used to be there. Hata Mayura alikuwa anakujanga na jificha. Yeah. And then, you know, I remember Mwaf, the Mwaf that I know, because even at your podcast, even when I was listening to it before I even got on, I used to listen on my phone when I'm driving, like on Spotify. So I never used to watch videos.
Oh, okay.
So in my mind, I remember Mwaf from Kitambo na Afro zake. When you talk about Mwafrika, I remember the Afro. I remember he used to be a good big rapper back then.
Yeah.
A big underground rapper.
Yeah.
So he'd come to shows and sometimes I'd be like, I know this guy, but I'm not. You can't. You don't want. I'm like, is that Mwafrika? But I'm not sure. I should. Approach him and tell him that because it could be the wrong guy and then you are there. But yeah, Mwaf ametuskuma. I've realized a few times I've been recognized. At least 50% of the times has been through Ikonini.
Yeah, true, man.
Even last week, so we were in Malindi last year, hapo mwisho hiyo nini day. Hapo tukwa swimo, a guy comes and be like, hey, I know you, man. Hey, Ikonini.
I'm like, it's interesting. Although right now I'm really enjoying the anonymity.
The what?
The anonymity.
Oh yeah.
Like the way we are flying, but
under the radar. It's actually quite nice.
Yeah, man. Because if you send, what's that guy's name? What's that guy's name for exposing guys?
Edgar Obare. Manu alikuwa na scandal huko.
If you said Edgar Obare my photo, you would get likes.
Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, bro, I would love to need this, but I can't.
Yeah,
can't take it anyway.
Yeah, check with your master. Nani anajua.
Manze niko na ads ya kuuza bro, wezi.
Za tao.
Niko na subscription model.
Yeah, but so I
I
wish we could just have like the best of both worlds. You're doing your shows, they're big, but you're anonymous. Okay, to wind it up, because I'm keeping extending this thing. This is guy who sang this song, Never Gonna Give You I think Rick Astley. Yes, that guy.
Yeah.
So that guy, he became so big.
Yeah.
And then with that song, then he sort of quit. And then now he's back, but he's saying he's enjoying doing sold out concerts in stadiums in the UK, but after that he can just go for a walk with his family, and
because people doesn't know him.
Yeah, I feel like that's the ultimate level for a comic. So
his fans or
for an artist him? No, people don't know him.
But how is this doing sold out concerts?
I don't know how it works.
Oh no! You know, these curated concerts where you are not the attraction. Yeah. It's a platform that's the attraction. Yeah, that's actually fun.
There's a story about him on Vice.
Yeah, it's actually one of those things that one of the anxieties I used to have was what happens if I get famous when I leave. Like it used to bother me. Paka sahi, I still think about it from time to like twice. If I'm like, do I want to be famous? Like I just want to be able to do my thing, get paid live well. And not have to worry about like CG, hey, my picture, hey, like everybody's stopping you.
Yes.
Like even worse. Remember in 2018 when you would would be hanging out with Mamito for hours and days, and then people would just be stopping her. Like, she can't even live her life, bro.
Like, you can't walk through the street.
We were in Kampala, bro, and kuna wale those who are Kikuyus calling Mamito like, hey, Kaireto, kare kasichana ketu.
Or even in Kampala,
bro, Kenyans. Just be like, I'm not sure how I landed, but
I think it's
getting more
inevitable.
mature. I think I'll have the more mental thing to do if it ever came. It's like I'm running away from it almost.
Yeah. Me, I get a lot of that when I'm around Gecko.
Yeah.
I don't know if all my fans are at Gecko.
But you know, there's also just a fan base that is just respectful, which I don't mind. I'm hey man, how are you, Doug? Yeah, nice to see you, man. No, I was at a show. I don't know, you don't know me, like easily. But then there's guys who expect you to know them.
Yeah.
Because you get that, right? Be like, hey, kuja hapa, like kuja hapa. Who are you talking to, man?
This time I was fighting with my chick. I'm just chilling in a club solo. Those days for COVID.
Yeah.
I go to a club all on my own.
Yeah.
I'm sitting over there. Some guy just turns. I'm sitting next to some guy. So that guy turns and said, Emmanuel, it is an honor to sit next to you. She gave me damn. So he's a guy from Langata. He used to listen to me on the radio.
Yeah.
So we ended up just because I didn't hang out with anyone. Yeah. So I ended up hanging out with that guy. But it went well.
Because it's fun. Because that's the same thing. When I ran into those guys in Malindi, we were just in the swimo. This guy really just kept his distance. And when we finally knew, he was like, hey man, I'm Doug. I know. We were introducing each other because to Patana swimo we were playing that water polo and stuff.
And I feel like that's a Kenyan thing. Kenyans, or at least the ones you're talking about.
Yeah.
Most of them, some of them won't even say hi to you.
I don't think it's a Kenyan thing. It's a certain type of people thing.
Oh, okay.
You know, because on the flip side, a guy who recognized me again from, I think Ikonini or something. If it's not Ikonini, it was maybe Roast House. Naivas. This guy works at Naivas. I'm looking for something, and he goes, when did Doug? Yeah, Doug. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, bro. Naitaji. Like, I'm trying to get him, and he's busy saying, I watched your stuff, man. You're in it. But there was a level of, you almost came into my space. You like just that personal space. I feel like we can still relate with fans without affecting the personal space. You know.
So what I mean? Did he help you find the lube, you got?
Yeah, he didn't. Maze didn't. By the way, he didn't. This guy just got super excited about my presence. And like that, he's seen me and then said, I'll be right with you.
Sasa hiyo lobo ulipata.
Nikajisaidia tu bro.
Lakini inakuanga
nikachukua tu lotion.
Nikachukua aremisi.
Bana.
But you guys, thanks for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
I guess we'll do this again, man.
Sawa man.
I hope our camera has been working all this time.
Yeah.
It worked until that time when I checked. But
yeah.
So asanteni sana. remember, Comedy Riot is coming up. Get your tickets because they run out really, really fast on the Standup Collective.
.co.ke.
.co.ke. So, cheers, man.
Cheers, man.